We back. Another mock draft. Let's run it. I might cut out a little bit in a little bit. You guys don't notice it, but I'll be out in a little bit. But this okay. Next week we're gonna do a mock draft with trades. This week is gonna be the last week without mock draft without trades. Next week we're gonna get a little frisky. But uh I I want to like change it up a little bit next week. This week will just be like a regular mock draft where no trades. Everyone's uh are where they are. So this is a pre-week 13 mock draft. There's been some risers, some followers. Arvo Reese has risen. He was at 7 last week, so he's risen up 4. So, uh, and I'm pretty sure something that surprised me when I saw this PFF thing was uh, TJ Parker fell a lot. He was ranked 4th or 5th, or he was in the top 10. So he fell. So yeah, okay. Titans on the clock. They got battered and bruised by the Seahawks this weekend. It was 17-30. It was closer than it really seemed. But it's the Seahawks. They're not gonna win. It's the Titans. They're not gonna win. Let's go with Arvo Reese here. Okay. So the thing with Arvo Reese is that he's so good off the edge. You're taking him for his pure edge ability, but he's also played off ball too. So you can take him there. He's gonna be perfect for the holes that they have, and honestly, just the best player on the board there. So even though you can take Ruben Bain, Arvo Reese has the versatility aspect. Same with Sonny Styles, where Ruben Bain is less of a versatility aspect. Um, that's why I also like Keldrick Folk so much because he can play outside and inside. Same with Arvo Reese. He can play off the ball or on the ball. So he's primarily taken for his edge rushing skills, but he does have a little off ball knack to him. So that's why you take him for that upside. With right coaching, you can probably elevate that. You can elevate his pass rushing skills, and the Ohio State defense is so good. So you can take a bet on one of those people. Giants. So next week I would have them trading down because there's no need to take a player here. You're not gonna pick number 2 for a wide receiver. Oh, Lemon Rise too. Holy, that game against Oregon was pretty good. But you can take Tyson, Lemon, or Tate here. But next week I'll have them trading down. This week, last week I had them taking Caleb Downs. The week before I had them taking Tate. So this week they're at 2. Honestly, I think Wan'Dale Robinson is good enough to the point where you can maybe pass on a wide receiver in the earlier rounds. Maybe take him and take a one in a later round, like the 3rd round or the 4th round. But the secondary has been abysmal. They were getting torched. Also, the run game has been terrible. So you either take Peter Woods or you're taking Caleb Downs here. You can justify Peter Woods' pick. Interior lineman is one of the most important positions in football. Caleb Downs is where it gets a little dicey. I do think Caleb Downs is worth the pick. He's a blue chip player. He's going to be one of the best players in the draft. No doubt about that. No one's questioning his ability, but do positional value get taken into account most of the time? Yes, they do. So do the Giants want to take that risk of the positional value? In this mock draft, I'll have them taking Peter Woods. Do I like this pick for the Giants? If I as a Giants fan, no, I really don't. I think I would. Obviously, it's not the flashy pick like a brand new safety or a flashy pick like a wide receiver like a Mekhi Lemon or a Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate, but it is something that is needed. Their run defense is terrible. Shane Bowen is terrible. He's gone. So you're gonna need some more players for that defensive line. That defensive line's good. The run defense is not good, and maybe that was a Shane Bowen thing, but now that he's gone, you can maybe experiment a little bit. But if I had to choose, like this is a different mock draft, I'm going to do different picks. If I had to choose, I would do Peter Woods just to be different. Saints. Honestly, Saints are one of those teams that you don't really want to pass on a QB, but you can. If you want to. Tyler Shuck can play a little bit, maybe wait for Julian Sang next year, and he can kind of be the bridge quarterback. I know a bridge quarterback is crazy for a rookie right now, but he is literally 25. He's older than some of the starters, so he's technically a bridge quarterback. So he'll be a good backup, but I don't think he'll be that guy. So you can maybe hold off on that. So you can. I have him taking Ruben Bain here. Ruben Bain is a really good player. He's very explosive. Is strong and has been playing good when Miami plays good. The Saints have struggled with pass rush this year, so I think it is a match made in heaven for them. Get some pass rush. Just fix that defensive line. So, and their PFF also has them needing defensive line too. So I think that's a good pick. The Jets, I do have them taking quarterback here. It's just a matter of who. Dante Moore. There's rumors of him going back to school. If I was Dante Moore here, if you're guaranteed to be a top 4 pick, a top 10 pick, why would you go back to school? You're getting all that money. There's no guarantee. You can't get much better than a top 4 pick. You'll get maybe a top 1 pick, but like I don't think you need that. Like might as well take the money when you can get it. Um, so I think Dante Moore should actually declare for the draft instead of going back to school, which I think going back to school in most cases is the right decision. But going to the draft, it's a good choice. I think it's a better choice than going back to Oregon. There's no guarantee he'll continue to produce there. So might as well take the money when you can. Fernando Mendoza, not a crazy athlete like a Caleb Williams or like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen who has pure raw talent but just a little more coachability. He's kind of the opposite. He'll stay in the pocket. He'll take a bunch of shots for you, but he would deliver the ball in stride. And he's a great locker room guy. I said this a couple weeks ago. He's a great locker room guy. He praises his teammates. He praises his coaches. He's a good guy, and I think the Jets need that too. The Jets have been an abysmal franchise this for basically ever. As long as we all can remember, because no one was born in 1973 when they were when they went to the Super Bowl with Namath. So I think Mendoza will change the culture there. I feel like the culture's already changing. And the Jets are building a sneaky good roster there. You have Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, above average offensive line. You invest in the offensive line last draft too with Membu and all the free agent signings, AVT. I really like that team. I think they can really give Mendoza a good spot, and Mendoza would be a good guy, locker room guy. So I think that's the right pick. And with the Raiders, you're with between Ty Simpson and Dante Moore. Obviously, you're not going to take Sellers or Nussmeier here. Sellers is a kind of sit prospect. You have to either sit him behind like a good quarterback like a Stafford or like a Rodgers. But same with Nussmeier. Like I feel like he can really like progress on his reads a little more. I'm not a huge fan of Nussmeier. I would honestly take Sellers over Nussmeier. I don't know why Sellers is ranked below him, but the Raiders do need quarterback. So you have to take a quarterback here. It's a matter of which quarterback. Dante Moore, I really liked. He played a good game against USC. He was running, he was passing. Good passes to Kenyon Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq was also pretty good, so I like Kenyon Sadiq too. But you're not going to take Kenyon Sadiq here. You already have Bowers, but Kenyon Sadiq we'll get on later. He's a first round pick. But Ty Simpson also, his draft stock has fallen a little bit after that Oklahoma loss. They won against Eastern Illinois, but like I mean, it's Eastern Illinois, so his draft stock really hasn't risen. So I'll take Dante Moore here. I do like Dante Moore. I feel like if he gets picked here, he's not going to return back to school. But if I don't know why he has the room of returning back to school. If he's getting picked so high, and there's 4 quarterback needy teams here, maybe you don't return back to school and take the money when you can, and then go to honestly, other than the offensive line there and Geno Smith, the and receivers are wishy-washy. You can take some receivers. This is a very receiver-heavy class. You can take a receiver in a later round. It's not a bad situation. Like, it's not a terrible situation. Sure, the Raiders are bad, right? They're bad. But for the offense, you have Genty, you have Bowers. You have an elite threat running the game, so you can have multiple layers to it. And there's also a elite receiving threat who has crazy yak potential. So I like Dante Moore's situation here if he gets drafted here. And honestly, I think the Raiders, like, if they can hit on their quarterback pick, it'll set them up for instant success. I feel like they can push back. That division is very hard though, but I feel like if you get the quarterback, you can build off of that and you can get the guys for him, because a good quarterback will elevate the people around him. So I think they can really work on that. So let's go with the Browns. You can go Jordan Tyson here. You can go Ty Simpson here. Maybe you don't take a quarterback because Shedeur Sanders played pretty well. I think you should do that. This mock draft is going to be a little different. We'll go Jordan Tyson. Browns don't have a real threat. It was Jerry Jeudy for a little bit, and then it's bad. Now it's bad. So like, there's no real threat. So maybe you get Shedeur, a real threat. Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur, whoever decides to pick. I feel like Shedeur should be starting over Dylan Gabriel. I think 80% of the population thinks so. So I think Shedeur is the right pick here. I see let Shedeur saga play out, and if it works out well, awesome. If it doesn't, oh well. you can get a next year's quarterback like Julian Sang or Lagway or Manning if he eventually declares, if his hype is still there. So it's not a bad option. Okay, Commanders. You could take Caleb Downs. You could take Jamad McCoy, or you could take one of these loaded rushers, which isn't a bad. You could take David Bailey. David Bailey's been really good. You can take Keldrick Folk. You can take Cassius Howell, even Romello High or TJ Park. But I feel like they take David Bailey here. He's a crazy good edge. They need some pass rush. You don't really know how well their edge room is, and Texas Tech has been playing great defensive football this year. So I think they can take David Bailey here. He's been really productive in college, and I feel like he can take this to the pros. The Bengals. I am taking Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is, again, blue chip player. He's like Kyle Hamilton a couple years ago, where it's safety, positional value matters, but at one point you can't pass on him if he's the best player, and the Bengals need defense. They need defense. You can see them taking maybe Fano or Proctor or Marigoa, but I feel like Downs at 8 instead of reaching for a tackle or a guard is 100% worth it. Downs has played amazing. It's been a down year for him, but the tape is there, the film is there. We all know he's a great player. So I feel like at one point you just have to take what you can get. So I like that. Cardinals on the clock. So I think we can take either Makai Lemon or Cardinal Tate here. I like Makai Lemon here. Makai Lemon had a great game against USC. He had 2 touchdowns, or against Oregon. He had 2 touchdowns. Even though they lost, he played great. Draft stock definitely has risen. He rise over Cardinal Tate a couple weeks ago. So I like Makai Lemon. Also like Cardinal Tate too. But I think Makai Lemon, for what he's asked for, he's that slot shifty guy instead of that like big bruiser guy who's like 6'4", 250. He's that like 195, 5'11" guy who will just find holes in the defense. He reminds me of Malik Neighbors, where he's not the biggest, not the strongest, but he's so football smart and can and so fast to the point where he can find breaks in the defense that you literally you can't guard him. And those type of receivers are being valued over these big DK Metcalf or Keon Coleman type receivers. So I think Makai Lemon is the best pick here. Cardinal Tate is the opposite side of the spectrum. He's fast, but he's really big and strong. He can help you with the run block. And honestly, I feel like Kyler Murray needs another weapon outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think Makai Lemon will work out perfectly. He's that type of guy you can just get open and bring some stress off of Marvin Harrison Jr. too, so they can both eat. So I like that pick too. The Dolphins. They need corners. I think I'm gonna go with Jamad McCoy. Yeah, you're gonna take a risk with the injury, but do I think he's a good pick? Yeah, I do. So the thing with Jamad McCoy is obviously the ACL tear. He was one of the best corners in college football, though. But I do think he's the right pick here. The secondary is torched. The secondary is getting old. The Dolphins. So I feel like you need to take a defensive piece here. I can see them taking maybe Tate or Delane, but I personally like McCoy more. I would take the risk off of an ACL injury. The Rams, Delane. So Delane, the Rams. Okay, how does the best team in football, or one of top 3 team in football, keep on getting away with this? It's crazy how much draft capital they got from the James Pierce Jr. trade. This is crazy. Atlanta is 4-7, and they're getting Mansour Delane. So the secondary has been burnt toast, but Mike Shula has been making the most of it with the Man Forbes. Man Forbes had a career day last game. So is Mansour Delane like kind of like a what if pick? Yeah, but you don't need to ask him to produce immediately. Maybe learn behind some of the corners. Maybe learn behind Mike Shula if he's still there. After that, if he doesn't get recruited for head coaches. So yeah, I like this pick here. He isn't instantly asked to get into a starting role and instantly asked to, produce, put into a shitty situation, and then not producing and then getting torn up by the media. So I like that. I have the Vikings taking Fano. They need more. I have them taking Jeremiah Love the last 2 mock drafts, but I think they need to take a tackle here. JJ McCarthy is getting battered and bruised. Obviously, JJ McCarthy isn't that good. I don't think so. I think he's the worst quarterback in that division. So I'll leave it at that. But he's not looked good. He's looked slow. He's looked unprocessable. He looks like just lost. So I feel like some more protection would work for him. Protect your franchise guy. I don't think he is, but protect your franchise guy. They've poured a lot of picks into him. They took him in the ninth pick the the year before. So you gotta you gotta invest into his future. He's still on a rookie deal, so you never know. But I'm not really happy about that. So yeah, Cowboys. I have them taking Avon Terrell. Diggs might walk. Diggs might stay. I think Terrell's still the right pick here. That defense is torched. It's toast. But they did get a good win against Philadelphia yesterday. So I do think they can take that. But I feel like with that stacked wide receiver division, McLaurin, Neighbors, AJ Brown, Wanda Robinson, I feel like they need more corners. Their offense can't keep on producing 40-point games and then keep on like having to hope the defense gets one stop. So just get as much corner talent as you can, get as much secondary, get as much lineman tolerance, or get as much lineman people as you can, and just hammer down that defense. They've done a good job with their offensive line. Tyler Booker looked good. Guyton looks okay. Like, so I like what they have, but they need more on the defensive side of the ball for me to say, okay, yeah, this team is a legit contender. Panthers on the board will take Keldrick Folk. He can play edge. He can play defensive tackle. He's a big body. He'll produce wherever he goes. He'll have a spot wherever he goes. I think he's really good. I feel like the Panthers can really use a good defensive tackle. On Monday night they had some randoms edge rushing. I think Keldrick Folk can be really good alongside Derek Brown in the defensive tackle slot, or even on the outside. And you have two key pieces if he hits. So I like the Keldrick Folk pit. The Panthers haven't had a really good pass rusher in a while, so I would think you'd take Keldrick Folk here, or maybe Cassius Howell, or literally any good edge rusher, because I like all of these people right here. I mean, Cassius Howell's good, Romello Hyde's good, and even T.J. Parker's good, even though he's fallen in my rankings too. Even Mateo Ugalele and Quincy Rhodes. I mean, honestly, it's a good edge class, so I really like this. And I feel like the Panthers can make a good edge prediction, and I feel like Kendrick Folk would be a good pick here. Let's go with the Chiefs. I think you take Jeremiah Love here. So Love, obviously, Heisman candidate, Heisman hopeful. He's played really good. He's against Pitt, he played really good, and against Syracuse, where they tore up that Syracuse defense, he played really good. So he's rising up in my boards every single time. I know he's fallen a little bit because I have the Vikings taking him last mock draft, but I do like Jeremiah Love here. Pacheco's getting old, and you're giving Kareem Hunt carries in the big 2-2-5. Like, come on. Like, at one point you got to realize that it's time for a running back upgrade and just take a big guy. Give some stress off of Mahomes and that in the offensive wide receiving core. Get some good run game going, and honestly, that offense can be unstoppable with that. So they need to, and I'm worried, man. I'm worried about the Chiefs. Obviously, I'm not a big Chiefs fan, but I'm worried about the Chiefs and what their future is looking like. Because once they start losing their key pieces, they're gonna start falling apart. I mean, Mahomes can only do so much. So as long as you have Mahomes, though, you can win. So I think Love will take that stress off of Mahomes and get rid of Pacheco and Hunt, hopefully, because they're getting old and they don't look as good as they used to be. The Steelers, I'm taking Ty Simpson. You need an Aaron Rodgers replacement. You can maybe take like a Lenore Sellers or Garrett Nussmeier. I think Simpson's fallen so far down on this board that you have to take him. Simpson obviously hasn't had as much of respect, and like he hasn't risen that much because there's not much to be risen, but still, like, he hasn't risen above Mendoza in my eyes. I do like Mendoza and more. I like Mendoza and Moore a lot more than I do Ty Simpson. But Ty Simpson is a good prospect. He's smart with the football. He won't turn it over. But that pick six really, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's some learning curves ahead, and I feel like Rodgers can help him with that, even if Rodgers returns or not. So, he'll be good. He'll set up in a good situation as Metcalf, and he has a decent run game and a decent line, and the defense can help him out. So, I like Ty Simpson here. The Texans, they're sneaking up. They're one of my biggest surprises. I thought they were down and out, and then they just beat the Bills on Thursday night. I think you take tackle here. You maybe take Maligoa, and I think you should do that. Maligoa, obviously, he's so big. He's so massive. There's rumors that he might trade to or go to tackle, or from tackle to guard. I don't know, but you're taking him for his offensive versatility. Tackle or guard, he's gonna have a spot there after trading Laramie Tunsil. That there's been a clear void in that offensive line. So I feel like taking Marigo here will be really good for CJ Stroud in that offense. So the offensive line has always been a struggle too. So let's just get our franchise left tackle or franchise left guard out of the way. So let's just do that. The Lions, I feel like they need corners, maybe an edge rusher, but I think you can take Sonny Styles here. Sonny Styles, he's really versatile. He played safety in Ohio State. I feel like he can elevate this defense a little bit. Once you elevate, he's really fast. He didn't play linebacker much, but I feel like you can learn under that Dan Campbell style defense. And honestly, he can produce there. He's fast. He's quick. And former safety is obviously going to be quick to the ball. So let's diagnose some of that plays. Let's get him to know more linebacker ball than there is. But he's also been pretty good in college. So that's why I have him going for, in the first round. So I like this pick for the Lions. He can learn under Campbell. So I like this pick. We're taking Cardinal Tate with the Baltimore pick. Lamar needs a true wide receiver one. I feel like Cardinal Tate can be that guy. I think this is a match made in heaven for them, actually. Cardinal Tate, honestly, big guy, can run block. He's not the fastest, but he can block, and he can get open. On the opposite side, you can have someone like Zay Flowers. You can also just get open too, and you got big and strong versus small and nimble, but can run through your defense. So I like that a lot. Lamar will find a way to incorporate him, and then he can also run block for Derrick Henry too. So you're taking him for his run blocking ability too. You're not taking him just for his pass catching. So it's a good pick here. The Bucks, they've really cooled down. It was a tough loss against the Rams, but you got to take a linebacker here. I haven't had them taking a linebacker here in a while, but I think you should take CJ Allen. CJ Allen's a great guy. I don't know that much about him because he's not even projected to be a first round pick. But your linebackers are getting old. You need a replacement, so you can maybe wait, but you're not picking high enough to the point where you can wait and get CJ Allen at the same time. So I feel like you can reach for a linebacker here, get a linebacker, and bolster that defense because they're giving up too many points. So Baker will be Baker. He'll find a way. Agbuka and Mike Evans and Godwin if they're still around. So I feel like he'll be fine with Kate on. He'll be fine. So I wouldn't worry. Bills, they got pummeled, literally pummeled on the offensive line against the Texans. Obviously, it's the Texans defense. They're one of the best in the league, if not the best. But still, I feel like you need to protect Allen. They're lacking playmakers, but you can take a playmaker like a Chris Bell or Jacoby Lane or Bernard or CJ Daniels or Nick Anderson later. You can take them later for Josh Allen. So you can focus on the offensive line here. I don't think Ayane is going to stay for that long. So take him when you can. He was getting battered and bruised in my film session. I watched that. It was bad. So take Ayane there. The Browns got Jordan Tyson. Let's take a corner while we're here too. Let's take Brandon Siss here. I think Siss is a great prospect. I've watched a bunch of South Carolina games, even though they suck this year. I watched that, and I feel like Siss is good. He's a big physical corner. He can disrupt passes. He's a good corner, and you need some help outside of Denzel Ward. Get locked down on the outside so that pass rush can get home, and I really like that. And your middle linebacker is good. Carson Schwarzenegger is actually really good. I really like Carson Schwarzenegger. He's the defensive player or defensive rookie of the year runner up, or maybe even favorite right now. So I really like that too. So that defense is sneaky good, and any Brandon Siss can really help, and Denzel Ward can mentor him. So I feel like Brandon Siss can be really good. The 49ers, I'm thinking Cassius Howell. Cassius Howell has fallen a lot in this draft. Okay, we back. Don't mind the fit change, but Just had some bomb sushi. So we back. What I was saying, Cassius Howell, pretty good pick. Really quick off the edge, could really elevate that defense. I not even gonna lie, I lost my train of thought. So we're just gonna move on to the next pick. Nick Bosa tore his ACL. Need another edge rusher. Basically, that's it. Okay, Cowboys. You can go McDonald here. You can go Romello Height. Definitely gonna be defensive side of the ball, or you can take. Cause you already took Avion Terrell, and who did they take? Yeah, they took Avion Terrell in this mock draft. So maybe you go a rusher or a defensive end. I don't like Caleb Banks. He's too injury prone. Maybe Amari Washington isn't a bad idea. Maybe Mateo Ugalele. I'll take him. I'll pick him. Mateo Ugalele, he had a great game against USC. He got some pressures on Mavia, so I think he'll work pretty well there. That Dallas defense does need some edge rushers. Their defense is not at all that good, so I feel like this is the right pick for them. And let's let them let the defense develop. That team is fairly young, but on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side, like in the trenches. So let's let them develop. The Chargers. They're gonna need some more offensive line help. So we're gonna take Proctor here. Proctor was a very high projected person coming into this draft. He was projected to be above Fano and Magagoa, but he hasn't really been that great. But he's been all right. So I feel like the Chargers can warrant a first round pick. Slater's gone, Alt was gone, so you're gonna need to bolster up that the offensive line for more depth. So I think you should just take the depth and the help when you need it. And honestly, they could make the best offensive line in football. So let's go with T.J. Parker for the Bears. The Bears need a playmaker on defense. They can get some more sacks, some more takeaways. They lead the league in takeaways, but they can really get some more sacks. So let's get some sacks on the board. T.J. Parker's good. He dropped a good amount. He was number 4 at one point in the big board. So T.J. Parker has dropped, but again, Clemson hasn't been that good except for a couple players. He's been one of those players. I mean, they've disappointed, but you can make do with that. The defensive line needs some help, and their run defense was atrocious, and their pass defense also pretty bad too, other than the takeaways. So they're gonna need some to bolster up that those trenches, the rushers. The Seahawks, I don't see any world where they take a receiver or any of these playmakers down here. So it's gonna have to be corner, or it's gonna have to be like a linebacker or something. Let's go with Colton Hood. And need some corner help. More corners the better. Let's just take the corner help. Maybe Woolen's on his way out, so they're gonna need some young guys in. So let's just take that when you can. So with the Jets, I have them taking Mendoza. So you would want maybe a wide receiver here, because other than Garrett Wilson, Mechie's been playing all right though. So maybe we stray away from a big target wide receiver. Mechie's been fine. He's a speedster. Garrett Wilson will always get those number 1 reps. Garrett Wilson's a top 10 receiver. You can manage with Mechie and Mitchell and Mechie with Wilson. So maybe you stay away from Denzel Boston, because honestly, right now, these slot wide receivers, these small wide receivers like Conception, who are just like really small and can find gaps in the defense, is more valuable than a Denzel Boston who can get up and catch balls. Obviously, both are good if they both hit. But if I had to choose, I'd pick these smaller guys who find the gaps, like a Makai Lemon, than someone like a Carnell Tate, you know. So, we'll keep it at that. So I don't think wide receiver is the play here. Maybe you go tight end, give Mendoza some help, but I think Mason Taylor's been playing okay, so you don't even need to do that. So we'll take Caleb Banks. He'll be the Williams replacement after that trade, after they sold Gardner and Williams out. So he can maybe help them get those trenches fixed. If this hits, it'd be a good pick. So I feel like this is a good replacement for Trent Williams, for Williams. Mozzie Smith, I don't think is gonna be that big of a long-term replacement, and I'm sure Dallas fans hated him. I know how much they hated him. So Yeah. So Eagles on the clock. They're gonna take Kenyan Sadiq. Kenyan Sadiq, of course, going to the Eagles. Howie Roseman has this like actual like passion of taking the best player available and just raw dogging and just going straight for them. Uh, I've seen that many times, and he follows my mock draft. So with Dallas Goedert on his way out, and in the bookend of his career, take Kenyan Sadiq. I mean, he's such a crazy athlete. He's 6'3", 245, but he can run. He can run, man. So if the Eagles get that, their offense is going to be even more explosive with Brown, Barkley, Smith, and now Sadiq. Yikes! It's gonna get rough. So better fasten your seatbelts because that might get a lot. So yeah, I like Casey Conception here for the Broncos again, but I've have them getting a bunch of receivers in my other mock drafts, so I think Conception is the perfect pick here. Conception is a really small, speedy guy. He returns punts at in A&M, but I feel like he can be that a guy that Bo Nix trusts and can give the ball to him reliably. The Rams back on here. You can maybe go Sellers or Nussmeier, maybe Mateer, Avia, Levitt. I don't think you go any of these other guys though. This isn't a bad QB class, but like you're gonna take one of these four guys right here. I don't think you should take Mavia. You can not keep him in state or even in city, but maybe you take Mateer, who's a guy can similar to Matthew Stafford, who isn't like really athletic but can make the right reads, play with passion. Or you take a Lenore Sellers who plays really with passion. He reminds me of Cam Newton. You play Cam Newton type player. He'd be the closest person to Cam Newton since Cam Newton. But yeah, I don't know. Like I have them taking corner and Delane, so they don't need another corner. And yeah, so maybe McDonald, but maybe you take a tackle and you like reach on Jennings, Dunker, or Lomu. So I have them taking Lomu. So those two were really highly projected in the start of the year. They haven't been playing as good as others projected, but Lomu, with Harvest on his back end of his career getting injured and stuff, maybe you take the tackle and worry about it later, and then worry about another quarterback because this quarterback class is pretty deep. You can maybe take like a Mensa or a Hoover or a Pavia like later in the draft, like maybe 5 rounds later, just see how he does in training camp. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. So maybe take a quarterback later, and then instead of like reaching on like a Lenore Sellers, who is very toolsy and doesn't have that many like actual like football like mechanics down, but he's just a raw athlete. I don't know if you want to wait on that. So maybe taking Lomu's the right place, just getting that offensive line good after that it's getting a little old. So let's go with the Patriots here. You would want a receiver for Drake May. I mean, other than Diggs, it gets scarce. I'm gonna go Chris Bell here. Chris Bell's a really physical wide receiver, but he does have sneaky speed. So maybe like I said, the slot guys like Makai Lemon, even like a Jordan Tyson, I guess, who's like a little bit of both, but Makai Lemon, the Makai Lemons of the world have been dominating like Ibuka, Neighbors, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Uh, Obviously those guys aren't small and nimble, but like they're not the big physical guys like a DK Metcalf or a Keon Coleman. So there's a little bit of that. So uh, one thing instead of guard, I can see the Bills taking a receiver, maybe someone like a Conception or maybe Chris Bell, but after that loss, it was rough. So, this is my mock draft of pre-week 13. It's not a bad one. There's definitely some changes that'll happen, but we will see next week.